Good morning. Getting closer to the finish line. Well, the finish line that I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving the goal line. But for now, getting closer to the finish line on the 60. I'm trying to get it running. Well, I mean, I already cranked it. It does run. I need to tune the carburetor. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I've got the new throttle return spring in there. And since I did the video yesterday, my outer vent control valve showed up. So let me kind of show you what I did. New outer vent control valve here. I'm just giving it a little touch up coat of paint here because it had a little bit of rust. So I kind of wire wheeled some of the rust off of it. We're going to cut this plug off and put one of the Deutsch connectors on it. Just kind of touching it up a little bit. So that will be what vents the carburetor bowl. Let me show you what I did yesterday. So I kind of cleaned up all the wiring on this side of the engine bay. So I extended this harness out a little bit and put a Deutsch connector on it so you can disconnect it. I mentioned in the other video that one wire that I thought was a ground. It actually was not black, it was just dirty. After I kind of wiped the wire down and pulled some of the sheathing back, I noticed that it was actually a light blue wire. So I looked at the wiring schematic that I have. Well, looks like the camera's low. There we go. That's cleaner. I looked at the wiring schematic that I have, and apparently that was the intake manifold temperature sensor that would trigger the carb cooler to come on. And it was just kind of hanging out. So amongst other things that they just disconnected, and I don't know whether they did that intentionally or not. But I did some research online and discovered that if you ground it out, so on I Hate Mud, I found where if you just ground it out, it will basically just trigger the fan to come on every time you turn the ignition off. It'll come on for a certain period of time after the vehicle is turned off. It's not ideal. You'd like to have it only come on when the temperatures in the manifold are high enough. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. So either way, I decided to ground that out. So I put a ground lug on it and grounded it out here to the same spot where I just ran a little chassis ground here that runs back to here to ground the intake manifold and all this stuff out, because I know that this part needs a good ground. So I did that and cleaned up all this wiring, tucked the harness up in here tight. I put some new loom on it. I got this braided loom here and put some Deutsch connectors in. I taped up all the old plugs that are no longer in use. Those are all sealed up. Everything's tucked up tight on this side. So basically this whole side of the engine bay is finished, is complete. So that's good. Oh, actually, I take that back. I got to fix this one today. I don't technically need to fix it. Like, it works fine, but I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the loom. I don't like the way they ran it. So I'm going to rerun all that. So I'll do that today. Put a new little end on it, run a new little bit of wire on it, and call it a day. Let's jump over to the other side of the engine bay. I was working on this yesterday. So I've got my new battery terminals on here. I ran a new ground wire back to the engine block. I got a brand new wire here because the old one was basically not long enough, and it was literally just like running straight across. There wasn't a lot of slack in it. So I actually ran this new wire down through here, down and around. It's got enough slack. Also, the bolt that they had used for grounding that out was like barely catching on any threads. So I put a new bolt in it that was longer, that'll get more threads. I've run myself a wire. I thought I had 6-gauge wire, but I only have this wire, which I believe is 4, if I recall correctly. This is some monster like amp wire. Yeah, 4-gauge wire. This is some monster amp wire that I just had a roll of it. So I'm running that. It's kind of overkill for these fuse panels. I really technically only need 6, but that's okay. You can always go larger in wire, but you never want to go smaller than your breaker protects. So this is a 100 amp breaker, so this is good for 6-gauge, but obviously will work with 4-gauge too. I put some terminals on it. I'm starting to make everything up here. This is where the fuse panel is going to be and some of the relays are going to sit. I also replaced oh yeah, that's the positive. I showed you that. Put new terminals on there. Got my wire running back to the, I recrimped a new connector on the wire that runs back to the starter. So that is in there. And then I've also got a new positive or negative the ground cable here. And then I've attached it here to ground on this spot. And actually, as I think about it, this is where the battery tray attaches to. So I think I need to actually move that now that I think I put this in the wrong spot. So I'm actually going to need to move this wire probably back to here, to this terminal right here. So I'll do that, move it back to there. And then I've got to finish kind of doing all this stuff right here. And then again, the outer vent control valve, these are the hoses. We'll connect all that stuff. Here's the connector for the old one. I'll just cut that off and reuse that little connector. Take this guy out of there. And as you can see, the old connectors, these were just like kind of, you know, the ones that you get at the auto part. Granted, I got the new ones at the auto parts store too, but these are the ones with the little butt connector on the end of them. And these get all mangled up over time and whatever. So, as you can see, here's the old one. It's pretty kind of chewed up. It's got overspray on it. Nasty electrical tape, all of the above. So we will, we're just cleaning all this wiring up. I ran this wire back through the grommet. We got our signal wire back for the IPF lights. We got all that pulled through. I've just got it kind of hanging out right there. I'll put connectors and stuff on the end of it and then make some sort of bracket in here to attach the fuse box back in here somehow. I still haven't really 100% decided how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that. I got the other pipe yesterday. It actually came a day early for the underdash stuff. So that's kind of last on my list. First on my list today is to just kind of get all this electrical stuff buttoned up, get it working. And then we'll hop in the cab and just kind of finish up connecting the ductwork and just kind of cleaning stuff up, reconnecting that oil pressure light, making that other, I got to drill this little trim piece out because this one thing cracked and I had to kind of super glue it back together. So I'll kind of clean that up a little bit. This was already kind of mangled and whatever to begin with. So I'm just going to basically drill cut like a big circle. You can get new ones of these. I've seen them on eBay, and I'll just cut a big circle out right here in it, and I'll stick the oil pressure gauge in the middle of that. So I don't have any of the other stuff. I suppose I could probably make another one out of some of that ABS if I have some left over. But either way, just need a little shroud to stick that gauge in the dash there, and that way it'll give it something to hold. Using this hydraulic crimper tool to crimp all of the battery terminals. This has come in handy. I bought this many years ago to do stainless steel cable rail system, and it's got different size dies in it. So I just put some larger dies in it to crimp the wires, and it's working great to crimp all those terminal connections on. So doing that. So that's what we're working on today. So stay tuned here. I got my little fuse mount made. I just took that whole sheet of ABS. I stuck it in the vise and I just heated it up along the edge and just kind of bent it. At first I bent it to a 90-degree angle, but to get it to sit right here on the shock tower, I heated this back up and opened that angle up just a bit. That's a 90-degree angle. I'm just sort of positioning the breaker and the fuse and everything here right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to route like a slit in here, and we're going to tuck the wires down underneath this, so that you've got, like, it kind of hides some of the wires and whatnot underneath this unit. So that's the plan. I just got back, took the Land Cruiser to go get my son from school, ran to the auto parts store to go get another timing gun, because my old ancient Harbor Freight unit is not working right. It is a mess down here. I don't know where I even put it, but either way, my old Harbor Freight gun is not working right, so I'm going to go get a new one. Plus, I'm going to get a newer one that has a tachometer on it. They've got one down at the Advanced Auto Parts down by my daughter's daycare. They did not have one by the Advanced Auto Parts up here. So I'll go get one either tonight or tomorrow or something. Maybe I'll stop by O'Reilly's on the way back from hockey or something. Maybe they have it there. So anyways, gonna go run do that, but happy to report that I drove it. It still runs like crap. It idles really high. I need to set the timing. I need to tune the carburetor, all that stuff. In order to tune the carburetor, I need that. Well, to set the timing, I need that timing light. My old Harbor Freight one, like I said, is not working properly. The light's like really dim. I can't even see. It's not bright enough to do anything, so I don't know. I haven't used that thing in ages because I haven't had a vehicle where I really had to set the timing like with the distributor and stuff in a long time. Last car I sold with a distributor on it was the last car I had. I sold it in 2009. So long time ago, 15 years ago, basically. 16 years ago. Anyways, let me show you what I did today. Right. So I got all the rest of this side of the engine hooked up as I showed you before. I did change this one hose out to a fuel hose instead of a vacuum hose. This is all done, and then I've basically finished up this side of the engine bay as well. So got new battery terminals on here, got a new ground wire here, new positive battery terminal right here, and I've got that all connected. I added a loop in because I may relocate this elsewhere in the future, so I'm going to leave myself a little bit of slack on that. Put all new terminals on there. I put a new wire going back to the starter, so that one's there. I put a new ground wire going to the engine with a new bolt because the other one was like, the threads were not even barely holding. And I put the fuse panel in here. So we took that piece of ABS and kind of bent it into a Z and made a little fuse panel cover here. I've got two fuses in there currently, which is the IPF lights and the new headlights. And basically we're running power into here, into the breaker, and then out of the breaker, I'm running to the two different fuse panels. I have another fuse panel inside of the car that is not really running. There's nothing in it right now. It's basically for future edition stuff. So because I'm not drawing a lot of current, I'm just coming off of this same breaker here. So this breaker is protecting both of these boxes. And then I made myself a Deutsch connector. I put the outer vent control valve in, as you can see right there, which is venting the carb bowl. It's probably open right now, venting into the charcoal canister. Yeah, so got all that hooked up and got all the wires kind of tucked and zip tied back here. Got loom on everything. Let's go to the cab here. I think I pulled a little bit further to the right in the garage. So I put the other fuse panel. I made a little, took some of that ABS and basically made a panel to go in the bottom of here and mounted the fuse panel to that. Again, there's nothing in it. I wired up this rocker switch here, and when I turned on the switch for the IPF lights, I tapped into the cigarette lighter power to get switched power, and somehow I popped the fuse. So I got to figure out what's going on there. But yeah, we popped the fuse. So I'm going to probably pull this wire here, tape it up. I don't really need the IPF lights right now. Plus I ordered a little bezel thing here to go there to put the lights into. So that'll be on here in a few days. Kind of cleaned up the interior a little bit, got rid of a lot of the junk in here, and I need to clean up the shop now. But glad to drive it. No overheating issues, nothing like that. My oil pressure is not reading at all, so I need to figure that out. I've got the new cinder wire. I've got a new cinder unit. all of the above, trying to figure out why that is not working. We will figure that out in the future. And yeah, so glad to drive it. So stay tuned. I'm gonna set the timing, get all that set right, and then tune the carburetor and get that tuned right, because right now it's like idling at like 2,000 RPM, and it's running super rich and whatever. But I mean, I drove it to go pick up my son from school, came back. That's about a mile and a half away, a mile and a half there, a mile and a half back. So all that's done. So all the other accessories and everything, all the belts and pulleys, everything runs right. Like I mentioned, coolant and everything is good. We didn't overheat or anything like that. So stay tuned for more videos. See you, bye.